I know that I met Merle Palmer early 90s. Merle and my husband Ed and I started going to lunch together at the Oaks Club. Um, and what a heart. A man that understood things that other people didn't understand, and taught us a lot about what we could do. Merle was very passionate and told stories. Oh, he had stories to tell about all kinds of minority students that needed his assistance and had benefited from his assistance. And just, you could listen to him, and he loved you to listen to him for good long chunks of time. He had great stories to tell. Really a heart full of love for people. Yeah.
My name is Kevin Castellanos. I'm a first-year student at Pacific Lutheran University, and I'm a Palmer Scholar. Growing up, I knew I wanted to do something along the criminal justice area, not specifically anything, either lawyer or police officer. That was just kind of like the journey that I wanted to take. Going to college means a lot to me, both and my family, simply because coming from a family where my parents couldn't continue their education past middle school because they had to, work to put food on the table for both their parents and their siblings, being the oldest. And for them to come to this country and allow me to pursue my education, for them working in organizations such as Palmer Scholars, means the world to me because I'm able to live both my dream and the dream they envisioned as they came to this country. Palmer's has given me that opportunity to have that experience that many others do not receive. Welcome to my dorm room right here. This is the desk that I have right here over here to the right. And then this right over here is my bed. Not that one, even though it's my roommate's messy little bed he has all the time. And this is our view right here. Well, a lot of my friends thought, joining little gangs were fun, beginning to use illegal drugs. I was in ninth grade, and one of my friends that I had from actually elementary school, he was murdered in one of his own friend's house that they were just, I guess they had a little confusion with drugs. And, him being so close to me, his home being so close to me, us being, it definitely woke me up. That's not who I wanted to be. I didn't want to be, have my mom pick up the phone and be like, hey, your son passed away. My parents worked too hard for them to ever have to hear that type of stuff, Having my dad talk to me like, hey, like, this isn't what we migrated to this country for. You could have done that stuff in Mexico. That's all I needed, and I wanted to do better things with my life. And that's why all these opportunities that I've, been introduced, I made it happen through that. I had potential, and I made that potential into reality because I knew that that's not the future I wanted for myself.
Hello, my name is Wayne Kim. I am married. I have two wonderful children. I work for Cole Graphic Solution 24 years. I am a scholar. Try one more time. I am a Palmer Scholar alumni. You got it?
Yeah.
I first met Merle Palmer the day after I graduated from Lincoln High School, 1989. He called me up, and then we met at his house, and he told me about the newspaper that he read about me. one morning, they tell my parents to move to a different village. And my parents knew that bad feeling, so they told the kid to stay home. And I want to go with them because I never separate from them. And my grandma say she want to go too, so can help my youngest brother. And we just walk about a half a mile into the jungle, and they tell us to stop. And they start tying everybody up. And then one of the soldiers grabbed my hand so tight, and I fight with them, try to escape. And my mom, my dad, and my grandma say, please don't kill my son. So I escaped. I ran and hid behind the bush and watched what happened. And they took my father, lean him against the tree and chop his neck. And then they did the same to my mom and my grandma. And my youngest brother, they throw into the air and chop with a knife. After I saw all of that, I went back home and told my brother and my sister. They all cried. I'm happy to be here. I'm proud to be American. My passion is art. I went to Northwest College Art for 2 years. I graduated 1991. Merle Palmer gave me a scholarship to go to my art school. I got my dream come true because I love art. Mr. Palmer, he's my mentor, so I get so close to him. I even call him Dad when I have any problems, even my personal life. One time, I call him up. He say, come over, and he willing to help me whatever it take. He's an awesome guy. I always miss him.
When I first met Wayne, I had no idea that he was a Palmer Scholar. I hadn't put he and Merle together. We had a job that fit him well, and he came to work for us in 1992, and I think it just came into conversation that he had benefited from a scholarship from Palmer Scholars. And how cool is that? So we've had that in our common knowledge of Merle and his mission that we've shared over the years. And Wayne shares with everyone that he gets to know his story, his positive outlook on life. He's a very considerate coworker, has an amazing eye for color and composition. That art background, although we are a production facility, it's such a bonus for us to have his eye for art and composition, and then he acts as though he owns the business. If it isn't good enough for him, it's not going out the door. He's an amazing guy.
I remember the day that we were meeting our mentors. I was quite excited, but I was totally not expecting who I was going to receive. I remember Stan was the first person I met. You know, we were doing a speed date type of thing, and Stan was the first person I sat next to, and I remember I was getting to know him before we even asked those 3 questions that we're going to be able to identify who our mentor was. And I remember when he told me he was a Superior Court judge, I'd never met or, talked to a judge ever in my life.
We've been at this for about a year. My relationship with Kevin has been really very good. Of course, he's busy, and he's out at PLU working hard to be successful. He's achieved great success thus far this year. It's interesting that the impact I make on some people's lives is not as positive as the one that I make in Kevin's life. I think it's important for people from backgrounds where perhaps they don't have exposure to the professions or to public life, to gain that exposure, to give them a broader vision about what's possible for themselves. And it's important to know that, he makes an impact on my life. It's been, for me, always a satisfying and an enriching situation to learn from young people, what their challenges are, what their thoughts are, what their hopes for the future are. I certainly really appreciate the opportunity to become involved with Kevin. We have lunch, we have coffee, we text. Kids don't talk on the phone anymore, they text. I look forward not only to the 4 years of the Palmer Scholars Program, but know that I'll be able to follow Kevin along as he goes through life and continues his string of successes. My association with the Palmer Scholars Program has been wonderful.
Palmer's has given me that opportunity to have my own dorm room. I was completely able to get to know people through my hall, through the clubs that I joined, through the sports that I'm being involved in. Palmer's has provided me all those opportunities.
Yes, Mr. Palmer here. I would like to thank you so much for helping me to be able to live American dream, to be own home. And my daughter graduated from PLU. Now she joined the service and try to get the master degree. Thank you so much.
On behalf of all Palmer Scholars, I'd like to thank you, the generous donors and mentors, for continuing to support Merle Palmer's passion in creating hope and opportunity through education. Thank you.
This court is now adjourned.